by day. We're taking it day by day. I keep on taking it day by day. What's logistics?
Huh?
What's the logistics?
Okay.
We got a song to do.
You got another song?
Do we? No, we're fine.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, everybody. My name is Reverend Ken Wilcox. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living on Mother's Day. We're really happy to have you here. Mom's Day. Yeah, give some a round of applause for moms. Now, if you're a mom or if you're just somebody who's been a mom to somebody, get yourself a rose because we want to celebrate all the love that's of Mother's Day, because that's what this day is really about. It's about the love that we give and the love that we receive. You know, a really interesting guy, Joseph Campbell, he said that he thought that mankind came up with the idea of religion when it first heard the thunder. When it first heard thunder, that's when mankind came up with that. It may be. I wasn't back there back then. I know I might look like I could have been back there back then. But I really wonder, if it wasn't the people seeing the sacrifice moms gave to their children, if that's not when we first started thinking about the idea of God. And we know, of course, that the first ideas of God were feminine. So Mother's Day is a very wonderful day to celebrate. We're happy to have you here. This is a glorious place to be. It's a healing place. It's a place you're going to leave here feeling blessed and encouraged and inspired. We're a spiritual community. We have no dogma. We don't tell you what you have to believe. We encourage you to believe the best of yourself, and to know that there's a power for goodness, for love, that's supporting you, encouraging you to become the best of yourself. And so you're going to leave this place today in some significant way, healed, blessed, and prospered. And to make that happen in a more significant way, all you have to do is to leave all your troubles, your fears, your wouldas, couldas, shouldas, leave all that stuff outside, and for the next 45 minutes or so to open up an avenue of spirit possibilities. Well, what are spirit possibilities? Well, they're for more love, more joy, more happiness, more free roses, more great hospitality, music, friendship, laughter, all those things in life that make us feel alive, because that's what God is doing through you and through me, showing up in the physical, recognizing itself through our love, our joy, and our laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. Well, just a couple of announcements before we get going. Guys, if y'all run them for me, and it'll remind me what they are. Oh, we have Romanza. Romanza is a cultural celebration that goes on in St. Augustine every year. They're actually using our facility on the 18th, Saturday at 4:30. It's going to be a students' concert of Broadway tunes. It's free. So be here for that. All right, guys. Swami Radhakananda's got a free class going on for love offering. Those on Thursdays at 10:30. Be sure to drop in for that. We have the Venus Manley Scholarship. We've given out those awards, and we will make the announcements of the kids that won those scholarships. And let me tell you, those were an amazing group of young people, and young people with challenges, but still determined to go out and make the world a better place. So this has been a great event. Well, all right, those are all my announcements. So to get us going, we're going to have Don and Doug, is it? Coming up to do some, Dave? Coming up and do some music. Come on up, guys.
This is my friend Nate Doug. Let's do raise your voice and sing. This is, I think, I was very lucky and fortunate, I find, to have been invited by Kaz and Archer one day some months ago to fill in and be introduced to this room. And, I had no idea. She said, what should I do, Catherine? Sure, I don't know. Let's go up there and sing. And this song is something that I had written quite a while ago, but it really fits this room, so I do it in honor of this room. Well, there's a sacred tune that dwells inside of me. I've heard it in the mountains, I've heard it by the sea. It calls us all together, the many and the one. It's been around forever and never goes unsung. It's the sum of all that's true, and all we've got to do is raise our voice and sing. Well, it echoes in the canyons, it whispers in the trees, it fills my heart with gladness, it resonates in me. It's the sound of angels passing, and zephyrs high above, an answer to my asking for just a little bit of love to help me make it through. And all we've got to do is raise our voice and sing. Alleluia, Hare Ram, Waheguru, Satnam, Kyrie, okay, Namaste, Amen. And that sacred tune, so clarion, so clear, resounds across the ages for everyone to hear. It doesn't need a venue, it doesn't need a band. Just open up and then you will come to understand. It's ancient, yet it's new, and all we've got to do is raise our voice and sing. Alleluia, Hare Ram, Waheguru, Satnam, Kyrie, okay, Namaste, Amen. Alleluia, Hare Ram, Waheguru, Satnam, Kyrie, okay, Namaste, Amen. Yeah, there's a sacred tune that dwells inside of me.
Thank you, guys. That was wonderful. And I can't think of a song that better fits this place, Don. You've been a blessing to us for almost a year now, I believe, so thank you. So to get our service going, we're going to have a reading and treatment, and we've got our own beautiful Maureen Cernsey coming up to do it for us. Come on up, Maureen.
Good morning, everyone. Beautiful day. I am so grateful to be here with all of you this morning. Grateful for this community, for this center, for all that we have. So my reading, actually, I want to share one of my favorite Meister Eckhart's quotes, and it's perfect for Mother's Day. We are all meant to be mothers of God, for God is always needing to be born. Meister Eckhart. How are we birthing God? Yes, by being here. So my reading is from I Am Co-Creating the New Earth, which is a compilation of invocations by Reverend Patricia Cotto-Robles. And it is entitled, The Will of God is. The will of God is light. The will of God is love. The will of God is good. The will of God is grace. The will of God is peace. The will of God is purity. The will of God is balance. The will of God is health. The will of God is abundance. The will of God is kindness. The will of God is unity. The will of God is happiness. The will of God is harmony. The will of God is perfection. We are all of that, for we are the will of God. So I invite you now to turn within the presence that is always there, ready for us to come. Always providing everything we need in every space and place, every moment. I'm so grateful I know God. I give thanks for all the wonderful people in this community, our center, for Reverend Ken and his message, for Don and Nate, Nick, Doug, for David and Miles who make the media possible, for all of the board members, the volunteers, which are all of us, everyone that makes everything possible here, for our hospitality and the community of love right here, right now, always. Always operating, not just on Sundays or the meetings during the week, which are so wonderful, and all the collaborations that we have with so many parts of this community here in St. Augustine and beyond. Yes, I give thanks. And I know that this message from Reverend Beverly Molander, who was actually on the panel when I went for my practitioner license, so I give thanks for her approving of me. I give thanks for everyone who is in this consciousness of love on this Mother's Day, for we are all birthing God in every way that is the will of God. So I let it be and know it unfolds perfectly. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Maureen. That was lovely. I love that idea. We're birthing God. You don't like the idea that you're birthing God? You can say, just add a vowel to it. Say, I'm birthing goodness. I'm a channel for goodness. So today I'm very honored and I'm so very pleased to have just a person who's so dear to me. Beverly and I have been prayer partners now for 17 years. We went through ministerial school together. There was one time on a Sunday morning that she and I would be standing in front of Rich Auditorium as we welcomed over 700 people in. So we have been through the challenges and we have supported each other. And if not for Bev, I would not be here this morning. If not for Bev. Bev has been my partner, my supporter, my mentor, my friend, and she's an amazing person. Her encouragement and inspiration and insight has allowed me to be the person that I am. So I just can't say enough about her. And I know you're going to love her, my wonderful prayer partner, my wonderful friend, Beverly Molander. Come on.
And I would not be here today if it weren't for Ken. So thanks for inviting me. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you very much for inviting me to be here. And this is Mother's Day. I am not giving birth. This is the bottom part of the microphone. So if you say, you don't have to spend any more time going, what is that anyway? I've been trying to finagle it, but if I finagle it, it might fall down. So we'll just have to put up with it. So I just want to say that I'm invited for Mother's Day, and I'm a mother. This is my son, Nigel, with his wife in Denver. And so I'm an official mother, and I was getting ready to prepare the talk thinking, okay, writing down all these anecdotes about my mother, who I just, have adored all these years, and now she's gone, and then my grandmother. And then I thought, wait a minute, I'm not going to do that, because there are people during Mother's Day who just dread Mother's Day like they might dread Christmas, like, oh, I hate Christmas, because you may not have the same kind of memories that I do. And then I started thinking about something that I'll be talking about, foster care, children in foster care. And but I wanted to say something before I get started, and that is that I talked with some ministers at a pretty big Center for Spiritual Living church quite a while ago, and they said that whenever you talk, whenever they talked or they had a guest speaker talk about childhood memories, it was almost a guarantee that the offering would go down that day. And it was, and the minister said, it's almost as though your memories are going back and you're thinking about you as a little child and everything. And then so it's time for the offering plate, and you plunk a quarter in the offering plate because you're remembering back when you were little, or you didn't know how to write a check, or you didn't have a credit card. So I'm just going to say, get over it, okay? Because we're all responsible here, and I don't want to see the offering getting down, because I'm going to be talking about Mother's Day, and a very odd topic about this. Hey, Ken, can we lower this a little bit? I feel like I'm looking over, like, hi. Oh, this is much better. Thank you. Breathing room. Yeah. No barriers here. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to be talking about foster care. And have any of you had any experience with foster care, either being a foster child or housing a foster kid or anything like that, or volunteering?
Do dogs count?
Do what?
Do dogs count?
Nope, not on this one. Okay, but you've had experience with that. And okay, someone else. Anyone else? Okay, so we've got quite a few people here. And so I think you'll understand as I get going by saying, why am I talking about foster care on Mother's Day? And there's a very good reason for that, and that's because foster kids aren't known for having loving, adoring mothers who take care of them and raise them in a way that builds confidence and self-assurance as they go ahead along. And I have this book, My Orange Duffel Bag by Sam Bracken. This is something about a boy who was not in foster care. He was in one of those families where he would get taken away from his family because of what he went through. And then he wrote The Orange Duffel Bag. And the last time he was kicked out by his mother, the only thing he took with him was an orange duffel bag that had like a couple shirts and a pair of pants and some underwear and nothing else, because he didn't own anything else. Nothing else belonged to him. And that's where he left that home, if you want to call it. And I just want to uh, say that I want to just relate some things about what happened with Sam to get you thinking about the absence of motherhood, and also know that we're in a position to do something about that, to make it better. So if you've had a very successful motherhood, if you were raised by a great mother, that's just great. You say, I want more people to have my kind of experience. And if you had a negative experience where you're going like, well, my mother didn't do a thing for me, then there may be an opportunity for you to think differently about yourself and how you can move forward from this point forward and not make that be the reason for your thinking about motherhood the way you do. So that's just, so, but I want to just talk about what Sam Bracken went through and be thinking about his life in terms of takeaways. You know, we all want to give people gifts and lavish them with love and all of that. But when you're in a position of abuse or neglect, there is a lot of takeaway. Nothing stays with you very long. So Sam had written, age 3, always hungry, strange men come to see mama, a bad man steals everything, even food. Don't cry. Age 4, I was left to stay at an orphanage. Mama comes back. Don't leave. Age 5, older boy flicks a lighter over lighter fluid on my arm. I catch on fire and put it out in the creek. Older boy becomes my stepbrother. Fear. Don't tell. Mom had 3 jobs. Leroy watches TV, drinks beer, smokes, shares drugs with kids, beats us up. Unspeakable abuse. Assigned to a special ed class at school. Age 9, abandoned construction site. Abused by my best friend's older brother. Trapped. Age 11, stepbrother Lenny steals mom's station wagon and money from her business. We are homeless. Don't ask why. This is the last one I'll do. Age 14, Lenny kills my stepdad Leroy's best friend, an ex-con who's been living with us. Lenny runs off with the guy's 17-year-old girlfriend. The cops catch them in Texas. We visit Lenny on weekends in a boys' work camp. Lenny is accused of molesting my little sister. Mom and stepdad break up. Chaos. So I can go on about this, but the reason for saying all of these things is not to keep us in that feeling of chaos and despair that I know we're feeling right now. It's to open the door for more possibility and to show that this Sam Bracken had the door open for him. When he was in junior high and high school, he was paid attention to by his a coach who let him run track and football and all of that. Well, Sam became a football star at his high school. And then his coach and another teacher encouraged him. And eventually he earned a full ride scholarship for football to Georgia Tech. And one of the reasons why he was allowed to go that far or enabled to go that far is because when he was in junior high and moving into high school, he was considered to be in special ed. He was making, D's and F's and just in lower classes where there wasn't much expectation for him. And a teacher back then noticed that he needed glasses. So all of a sudden, he got glasses and started to be able to read, and his grades went from D's and F's to A's and B's. So all of these things were happening when he was neglected and no one was paying attention to him on the home front. Other people were watching out for him and spiriting him along. So a thing that I just want to remind you is that you can't go back and make a new beginning, but you could make a new ending. So we're here talking today about how we can make new endings with these kids. So when we've been talking about foster care, we know that children who are normally in it are just thought of as, well, you know, probably on drugs, might steal something, making some assumptions like that. And maybe it's time for us to make some assumptions that are a little different from that. That saying, well, if this person could handle what this person has done so far, this person can go way beyond you and me, way beyond. So I'm thinking about taking it away to adoption now rather than foster care. And I remember that Madonna and Angelina Jolie kind of set the tone for adoption. Before then, you know, a few generations before then, if you wanted to adopt, you had to hope, oh, I hope that baby is blonde hair and blue-eyed, so they'll all think that that baby belongs to me. And I'll be able to fake it, and I'll be able to be the real mother. So there was a stigma against adopting a long time ago. And then came Angelina Jolie with her family of everybody, and Madonna as well. And I feel like I was part of that too, because my son is Hispanic. He's from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And there's no way that I could be holding this man. Oh, you all look just alike. You know, there's no way it's going to be that way. And I felt like kind of a pioneer, like, hey, I can do it. You can too. We can all do it. My son is adopted, and that's the banner he's going to be wearing from this day forward. So my hope is that as we move along, we'll start to be able to see foster care as a banner, like I've been through foster care. I've been through all these takeaways. I've had these things taken away from me, and I have overcome it and become more than what you would ever imagine me to be. So we're talking about that the future can be more hopeful for foster children. And one of the, this is what I want to just say, you know, as we're thinking about how we were raised and how we were supported up, just keep this in mind about what foster care kids may not have gotten when they were living in different homes and being raised, and you know, there was chaos all around. And a reminder that Sam Bracken, the person I'm talking about, when he grew up and went to college and he had medical coverage, he went to the dentist for the first time and had 17 cavities. He had never been taught to brush his teeth. So how about getting an allowance for doing chores, deciding how to spend allowance money, getting a car or bike repaired, learning how to drive a car, learning how to apply for a driver's license, shopping for food, learning how to cook it, learning how to sweep up and clean, learning how to bring a treat if someone is sick, how to buy stamps. all of those things are things that we take for granted, like, oh, it's no big deal. And these children may not have even been taught these basic things. So one of the reasons I'm here talking today is that I want to tell you about two organizations that I really am so excited about. The Orange Duffel Bag, My Orange Duffel Bag. And this is about people who have volunteered to get together and coach children who have been in the foster care system. Maybe they've been identified by the schools. Who knows? We don't know, but how they've been identified and their names have been turned over. The Orange Duffel Bag has a coaching program that deals with kids, and it's like, what would you like to do when you grow up? Huh? Nobody has ever asked that kind of question to me. What do you mean, what am I going to do? I don't know. I mean, that's as far as goal setting goes for a foster child. So what do you enjoy? What are your, what kinds of people do you think you'd like to be around? What kind of subjects do you like? All of those things take a long time to unfold out of a foster child because they've never been asked to express an opinion. They've always been told what to do. So all of this has to do with nurturing and making decisions and learning. And it's just that that same thing that I was saying about that you just keep going and you just keep learning and keep moving out of that system. So you end up becoming your own family when you do this because you're not relying on somebody who's going to let you down again. So, and also there is a NSORO, NSORO Foundation. And Sorrow is a name in Ghana, and it means the higher of the children, or something like that, that kind of interpretation. And so the Nsoro Foundation gets children and honors them where they are with respect and possibility, and coaching goes on from that, and also there are jobs available from that, scholarships available, but it takes people who know about coaching, teaching, support, working in the school system. It helps if those kinds of people are wrapped up to support these individual kids because they need accountability, they need love, and they need support. So I'm just challenging you now to think of any children, maybe they're not in the foster care system. Maybe there's a child that you're aware of. Maybe your next door neighbor, maybe somebody who hangs around with the neighborhood kids and doesn't really have a definition. There may be some children that you can be aware of and be helpful to coach. I'm thinking about when I was a teacher long ago, I had a little first grade boy who smelled like urine, like you could walk down towards his desk and his clothes and his hair and everything smelled like urine. And one day I took him home from school and his entire yard smelled like urine. But you know what? Back then, we didn't do anything because it was interfering. So I never reported anything. I had never had anybody look into him, what was going on. And I think about that boy and I think, where is he now? And what could I have done? Nothing a whole lot back then. What could we do now? A whole lot. We could maybe change the course of the event of this boy's life because we would be looking out for him and he would not be wearing clothes that smell like urine and maybe not even be in a situation that makes him be in that kind of situation. So this is what I wanted to encourage you to do. Think about my orange duffel bag and be encouraged, even though this is a downer of a topic, be encouraged that there are actually programs that are in line to help people who are going through those issues. Back when 20 years ago, nobody thought anything of it. Nobody, it was just somebody's bad luck. You know how sometimes you might be in a grocery store and would see some mother, just beating the heck out of the child for misbehaving in the grocery store, and nobody said anything because that wasn't the thing to do. So now there are some things that we can do, and maybe what we can do is not just stop that kind of abuse and neglect, but take that child and say, you deserve more, and this is how you can get it. You can work towards that, and you can leave whatever has been holding you back behind as you move forward with those of us who are supporting you. So that is what I am talking about today, and thanks for listening. And there are opportunities to volunteer for things. If you just do a Google search of foster kids, foster programs, you will find opportunities here. Even maybe a clothing bank where you can contribute your clothes or work and give out free clothing to foster kids. Who knows? There are all sorts of things. But think about what it would be like not to have the support you had and to be able to give it to somebody right now because of who you are. So that's my thought for you today. And let's just close our eyes a little bit because we're going to do a closing treatment right there. We know that this is a serious topic, and it pulls at our heartstrings because we are standing up by being at the Center for Spiritual Living. We're standing up for a world that is filled with love and optimism and enthusiasm and energy for moving forward the best way we possibly can with all of our resources. And so that's the message that we bring forth all the time. And let's do this. Let's take this message, which didn't have that kind of symbolism to it. Let's take this message and turn it into that message of love, optimism, enthusiasm, and energy, and ready to move forth with these children who have been left behind, neglected, and abused. Helping them move forward into a better world that we have helped to create. So we are looking forward to seeing the results of these programs like the Orange Duffel Bag and the Encero Foundation, and seeing what we can do to talk about, to accept other people, to support other people, and expect them to have the best results possible. So we are moving forward with that today. And we are moving forward with our energy, getting our energy back up, knowing that this has been something to talk about, that we actually can handle, do something about, and be energized by. So we are so grateful for being here and for knowing that we have resources at our hand in abundance that we can use ourselves and that we can share with other people and other programs to make the world a better place for everyone, even those who have been forgotten for so long. So we know this is already happening. We know that we are taking part in it. And we are filled with love that is expressing itself outward for those who need to experience it the most. And we say together, and so it is.
Come on up, Doug. I had a friend, Michael, who I write songs with at times. And, and we're, like many of us probably in this room, 60s people. And at some point in time in that, though I'm sure it's not unique to that generation, but there was a pretty hardcore generational shift between us and our parents at a certain part in time. And many of us became estranged for a period of time until we became parents ourselves and reorganized that relationship. And Mike had that problem. He was a small-town Missouri boy and found San Francisco in the summer of love and came back, and his parents didn't, and he didn't see eye to eye. And at the last days, but there was a loving family, and in the last days, his mother's name was Dulcie, I believe, which is sweet. And in her last days, she was passing away, and he was at her bedside. And trying to realign that, and he said, "Is there anything I can do, Mom?" And he said, she tightened her eyes and got kind of bitter and shook her head no. But then she opened up her eyes and looked at him and smiled and said, "Yes, Mike, have a good time." And that was the last thing that she said to him. So we kind of generated this song for Mother's Day. Have a good time. Have a good time. Should anybody try to tell you different, don't you pay 'em no mind. Fortune smiles and flies away. Still all your days are gonna work out fine. Long as you remember to have a good time. Drawing near the final hour, standing by her bedside in the dark, said, "Mama, is there something I can do for you?" She smiled and held me in her eyes, put a trembling hand up on my heart. The last thing that she said to me was, "Promise me you'll always choose to have a good time. Oh, have a good time. Should anybody try to tell you different, oh, don't you pay 'em no mind. Hey, fortune smiles and flies away. Still all your days are gonna end up fine. As long as you remember to have a good time. Cut your hair and get a job. Put that guitar down and find a girl. Sure, we had our differences like people do. Work hard, raise a family. Save your money, send your kids to school. But when all was said and done, you know the best advice she gifted me was to have a good time. Oh, have a good time. Should anybody try to tell you different, oh, Mike, don't pay them any mind. 'Cause fortune smiles then flies away. Still, all your days are gonna end up fine. As long as you remember to have a good time. People just remember to have a good time. Happy
Thank
Mother's
you, guys.
Day.
That was lovely. And thank you, Bev. That was lovely. So now comes a time where you support our center and we support this place because this is a wonderful place that's doing a lot of great and good work. It's a place of healing, inspiration. It's a beacon of love and compassion. And your support is allowing that to happen. Now, you can support us in several ways. You can volunteer, you can do prayer work for us, and you can support us financially. However you choose to support us, know that it's going to be returned to you multiplied abundantly. If you will, take your intention and place it over your heart and read with me this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance as I freely and joyfully give. I join in the divine flow, and all I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. If the ushers will step down, we'll thank you in advance for your generous contributions. Don, I know you got something great for us.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Hey, hey. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. no need for greed or hunger, brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Don. And thank you, Terry. And thank you for your support. Your support is allowing this center to grow and to thrive and to be that beacon of light and love that we talk about. So we thank you, we bless it, and we release it, knowing it does its good and perfect work, returning to us multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, well, we'll conclude our service with an affirmative prayer. I'm going to do it in the first person. Take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me today. There is but one God and one mind and one power, one love. And that power and that love is raining down on me. That love called me by name so I could walk the soil of St. Augustine. And that love has never given up on me, has never been disappointed in me, has never been worried about my mistakes. It has always been more inspired and encouraged by my possibilities. So here today in this sacred place, surrounded by all this wonderful, loving souls, I now choose to know a better idea for myself, that I am a channel for God's love. I am birthing God's love into the physical plane, and there is great good that I've come to do. And I am no way disappointed or discouraged. I know I am here to life to make the world a better place for my having been here. And so this morning I choose to see myself as God sees me. Not as weak, not as wounded, but bold and dynamic, a victor, out making the world a better place through my love, my joy, and my laughter. So this morning I choose to lift my eyes up to a better knowing. I choose to lift my eyes up from the turmoil and despair I see on the earth and know that these are just mankind's foolishness. There's a truth that radiates from God's love, and that is that we're all children of God. We're all here to live in joy. We're all here to know the mother's love, father's love. We're all here to know that we're blessed, and we are here to live inspired lives in health and joy and prosperity. God has called us by name from stardust so that we can revel in the love of God. And here today, I know that I am walking with God's love. I'm moving with God's love. I am making a difference because God has called me and I am on the move. I have lifted my eyes up and I am moving forward, and paradise, a new home, is my destination, and I am not turning back. This is my truth. I celebrate this right knowing every word is radiating in my soul and my heart and my body, and I am on the move for God's love and compassion. And I release these words into the mind of God to do this good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my dear friends, I'm going to leave you with one last idea, and that is your life. Your life, it's not a problem to be solved, it's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God is calling us to be. Until we see each other again, this is Reverend Ken wishing you many blessings.
Bring the light, bring the light. Let it shine Bring the light, bring the light. Let it shine on me. When it's too dark, gone on too long, things look too stark, things feel too wrong. Turn it over, let it go, bro. Take a knee and bring the light, bring the light. Let it shine on me. Ah, bring the light, bring the light. Let it shine on me. Circumstances will befall you. There may be chances, great and small, to write your story. It's not over. Wait and see. And bring the light, bring the light. Oh, let it shine on me. Oh, bring the light. Let it shine on me. Makes no difference where you're standing. If you just reach out your hand, then things get better. If you give, hey, you'll receive. Oh, you gotta bring the light. Oh, bring the light and let it shine on me. Oh, bring the light, bring the light. Let it shine on me. Give us a helping hand. Oh, you must understand. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know, you've got to let it show. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. Yeah, the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Oh, put a little love in your heart. You gotta bring the light. Put a little love in your heart. Let it shine on me. Put a little love in your heart. You gotta bring the light. Put a little love in your heart. Let it shine. Let it shine on me. Wonderful. See y'all.